Hello, pumpkins. I'm not sure if anyone. It initially was at 3 and then was rescheduled till 5 because I was out for lunch and lunch got pushed back. It was taking longer. So, yeah, I don't know if you watched today's video, but I had a lunch date that went very well. I got. Aren't they pretty? That happened, and it was a really lovely date. We went for lunch, and yeah, I was incredibly honest about my situation, and yeah, that I don't expect him to rescue me. I just need him to believe in me, and yeah, my lipstick got a little smudged. Oh, okay. Oh, I know why they're cutting in and out. Okay. The audio needs to be where there it is. Is that better? Can you hear me better now? Hi, Emma. Hey, Cheryl. Long talk with a lawyer today. Things continue to chug along, but they're going in the right direction. I am looking forward to telling the entire story once everything is done, because yeah, there's stuff I keep falls into place, and I need the fun. Okay, we're good. So how is doing today? A note on Merlin: if you haven't seen some P symptoms, and Jordan told me, Jordan is my friend who's watching Merlin right now, and Merlin was having like he'd assumed the position to pee, and then I think when I went back to, okay, that's the right camera, and that's the right, yeah, that's what I got for that. I don't know, unless, let's try. Okay, see if that helps. Oh, I can do a virtual background. That was okay. We're not going to try that. All right. So yeah, Merlin's P issue. He was assuming the position, and then he'd take like a few minutes before he'd start, and his P was like staccato, or like, you know, it's like coming out in spurts, not in a stream, which sounded like UTI or blockage from yesterday. And the symptoms have gone away, but I still want them checked out just in case. So yeah, that's why I'm doing a bit of a fundraiser, because yeah, Merlin needs to go to the vet, and I've had life circumstances, so I need some. It's going to be, the vet that I take Merlin to is phenomenal, and they are a not-for-profit vet clinic. They do have access to some funds from fundraisers and from volunteers and from the Dog Owners Association. that they can give sometimes, but it's not going to be free. So I will have to pay something, and I am totally okay with being transparent about how much the vet would cost, and I basically said, Jordan, if you can take him to that, I will pay for your cabs. Just have the vet invoice me, so the vet's going to let me know how much it is afterwards. So that's the thing. It might be a stress thing. I was also thinking, after Merlin gets a little, and yes, I'm going to get into like TMI about my dog's genitals, but he gets a little tuft of hair on the end of his penis, and you want to trim that. And so, maybe like just it got hardened pee on the end. I don't know, but I do know that if it was a UTI, or if he still has it, that those can be pretty serious if left untreated. So I do want him to get checked out. He's still my baby boy. Oh, my heart. I haven't seen him in about 6 weeks. I miss his snuggles. But I will get settled, and I will be able to get him back. I've been looking for live-in caregiver jobs, and I need to reply to some of those today. But a lot of the families who are looking for these live-in caregiver positions are often are not super comfortable with dogs. So I have to respect them because I'd be living in their home. Best way to donate is by coffee. PayPal is Caroline@CarolineIronWill.com. Coffee is www.ko-fi/CarolineIronWill. And then YouTube won't take 33% of it. Hey, Marissa. And if I get over the amount, donate that to the vet so that I'm paying that forward and not profiting off of me asking for help, because it's hard for men, but like, it's my dog. I will do anything for him, and if that means groveling on the internet, slinging cards, then that's what I do. Pardon me, I think I got something on my teeth. I was treating the sushi lunch today, and I thought I had some seaweed salad in my teeth. I've had a really good day. Things are looking up. I would love if by the end of this ritual that like everything's perfect, but at least headway is being made, and that's what's important. So, deck of cards. I was debating on doing a seance and evoking Queen Elizabeth. I think that one would be kind of fun to do. Now, to me, there is a difference. I know I gave a lot of people crap about the Gabby Petito doing seances. Still waking up? Hold on, sir. Oh, yeah, I sang in my last video and I lost a bunch of subscribers. Okay, you never know with YouTube. What was I gonna say? I was saying something. Okay. I am going to log out and then log back in. So yeah, hopefully you'll see in a few minutes, and that will fix that. Or maybe I should a lot. Let's try that. Okay, I just shut down Spotify and Wondershare. Wondershare uses a lot of computer mojo, so hopefully better now. Hey, Megan. So yeah, as I was saying, Queen Elizabeth, I gave a lot of people flack about doing a séance just after Gabby Petito died. And why would I want to do a séance right after Queen Elizabeth died? Is that not hypocritical? And I'm thinking no, because there's a big difference in how fast a spirit crosses over when a 90-something-year-old woman dies of natural causes and her husband has already crossed over, and a 21-year-old woman in the peak of her life who dies a violent death. Like, there's a big difference in that. So when someone is older and their death is expected and it's of natural causes, it's not really it's not really as much as an issue. Like, within a week or two, they're probably going to be settled in the afterlife just fine. If there's so like same with Betty White, she probably crossed over fairly quickly and fairly easily. But with someone who, she was 96, and Betty White was 99, just shy of 100. So these ladies they're ready. It's their time, and it's natural causes. I don't know yet how Queen Elizabeth II passed away. I know that it was natural causes, and that she declined very rapidly, but that's part of life. That when you get to that age, it's kind of every day is a blessing, right? Do we know if the cause of death has been released yet? Sorry, I'm cracking my knuckles. I try not to when the camera's running, because I know that's a real sensory issue for a lot of people. So sitting on my hands, like my grandma told me. Okay, maybe I should shuffle some cards. Yeah, I don't think it has been released. And I mean, she was spry right up until the end. So good for her. She really had her faculties about her. And I mean, that's the thing when you're one of the richest people in the world, right? Is that you get access to the best healthcare. And how old was the Queen Mum when she died? I want to say that the Queen Mum was over 100 offhand. I mean, she was up there. I have Google Home here. I will answer in just one moment. Hey, Google, how old was the Queen Mother when she died?
Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, was 101 years old when she died in 2002.
Okay, 101. There we go. I like that. I have. Is it safe to do seances in the children's room? It is safe to do a seance anywhere if you know what you're doing. So I have I done a seance on this channel? No, I haven't yet. I want to, though. If I was to do a seance, I would spend, before I even went live, I would spend a good half hour to an hour doing a cleansing on myself and doing a cleansing on the room. And then I would set up protection, which is going to be another half hour. So yeah, we're looking at an hour to an hour and a half of prep before I start. And then do the ritual, making very, very clear the object, like the objection, why we're doing the ritual. The ritual should be well planned. So I would never start doing any sort of seance and say, is there anyone out there? That's just asking for trouble. That's ringing a freaking dinner bell. So then after it's finished, we would do a cleansing and banishing and take down protections. And again, like another half hour to an hour. So that's protecting yourself, protecting your space. It is really important that you're not leaving any room for any mistakes, any errors. And this is why, like, I'm fully cool using talking boards, because I know how to do them. If you're using it as a game, if you're using it to scare yourself, if you're asking, is anyone out there, then you're going to have problems. I don't know if I do a seance here because I'd want to ask the homeowner's permission. I think that's something that I should do. And if she said no, then I would respect that space. So she's not a terribly spiritual person, so I think would be cool. But yeah, most likely, I've talked to Andrea Vitamus about going into his shop and doing some ritual work there. I know that he's super busy around Samhain, Halloween, which is when I wanted to do it. So we'll do that at some point. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I don't know what method I'd use. I would want some method where she could communicate back with us and for there to be some sort of way for her to do that. So it would either be through a talking board or through a what's called a Frank box, which is a Frank box runs through radio stations and it picks up radio signals and then words come through or something like that. So I'd use some sort of talking tool. I did a video about talking boards, Ouija boards, I guess it was 2 years ago now, and about how a lot of people think that they're dangerous and have had negative experiences because they didn't know how to use them. And I mean, yes, it's made by Hasbro. Okay, no worries, Emma. I have to sneeze, pardon me. So yeah, if you're, yeah, it's made by Hasbro. You can buy one of Toys R Us. They're not. I have never, I've never used a Frank box myself. I've seen them used by others. So I've never heard them sing, but I suppose that they could. Usually it's like one word at a time that you get. So, because it goes through the radio signals very fast and words come up. I wonder if I can find. And there are apps you can use as well that can come up with some pretty good EVPs. But yeah, I would want a way that instead of, I mean, I channel, I don't do a lot of channeling or a lot of mediumship work. It's something I could do, but yeah, I'd want a way for her to be able to communicate. And really the difference between using an app that words pop up or using a Frank box where words come through the radio and using a Ouija board, the only difference is technology. One is not safer than the other. But both can be used safely if you employ proper techniques. If you are just using it for fun, if you are just using it to scare yourself, if you are not using it with a plan and proper protection, yes, they can be dangerous. But if you're using them safely, then there is no problem with them. Let's go to YouTube first. And I'll try to find a demo of a Frank box. Of course, computer low because they're poor resources. Oh, that's right. It was the Necro app, so it wasn't a Frank box. I think a Frank box you actually have to buy. It goes through the stations, but I've done. There's a Spirit app that has that I used, and that one was the that was the Tammy Daybell one, wasn't it? That one was neat. Yeah, that one was really neat. I did a reading on a live stream the last time I did a tarot live stream about, and one of the questions was Donald Trump. So yes, I'm going to talk politics for a minute, and the Mar-a-Lago raid, and we were looking at like who was the leak, who was the rat, or who was the person who called the FBI and reported him, and I said it was Jared, and Michael Cohen from the Mea Culpa podcast also said it was Jared. So I'm going to take that as confirmation that I was right there. Okay. Do you want details on my date? It went very well. So normally my there's a Frank box. Okay. So I'm going to just post a link, and then if you want to look at the link afterwards. or can I record the? All right, volume off. Good. Share. I think I can share my screen. This is the first time I've shared my screen like that. So share screen. And here's a Frank box.
It's July 7th. This is Frank's box 180. Let's give it a shot. It's a copper lined box with copper handles, built-in echo. I'm going to start it off on FM mode, and it's also a homebrew tuner, which means Frank built it from scratch. So let's check this out.
Oh, oops. Okay. I just did it and then it didn't work. Crap. I can do a reading on my date. I tend to not because on my own love life, I mean, I could. You want to see that? I can pull some cards right here on my date. I know why. Okay, entire screen. There we go. Now I can share. It was actually a really creepy Frank box. Any sort of any sort of protection. He just and that's not how you do things. If I was to do, I would get trouble. Like this, the way he's doing it here is asking for problems. Yeah, he didn't do any sort of prep work, any sort of cleansing, any sort of banishing. He just turned on the box. Hey, let's see how it works. And then he's getting all these like creepy, scary, negative responses. So that is, yeah. So while this is loading, I'll tell you about my date. Yeah, it went very well. He picked me up. I was very surprised to see that there were flowers. So I got a bouquet of flowers. We went for sushi. We had great talks about history and travel and nerdy stuff and Doctor Who. And there's me live. Cool. It was really cool. And afterwards, yeah. Well, I'm not going to kiss and tell, but I was wearing lipstick. So anyway, he's a nice man. Yeah, and I'm definitely interested in seeing him again. Yeah, I don't want to embarrass him because I know he watches my channel, but yeah, it was a nice time. Okay, so I'm gonna put Frank box back into here. This is the one I was listening to. Okay. And I'll back it up a bit. Yeah, no, it's slow. Back up a bit more.
Echo. I'm going to start it off on FM mode, and it's also a homebrew tuner, which means Frank built it from scratch. So let's check this out. Hello?
Okay. So that is a friend. Yeah, they can be pretty intense. If I was getting messages like that through a session that was like, yeah, ghosts and saying, "Help us, he's dead, you're useless, what the F do you want?" I would shut that shit down and I would start banishing because that's a problem. That's how you end up having problems. Okay, the flowers, the flowers. All right, here. My vase is a little full, but yeah, they're beautiful. And you see the pink one in the middle? That's a stargazer lily, and they are my favorites. So that was lovely. Very thoughtful. It's been a long time since I've got flowers, so yeah, that tickled me pink. But yeah, I can do a reading on the date. Okay. Deck I'm using today is Legend Arthurian deck by Anne-Marie Ferguson. Because I always tell you that. Oh my Lanta. So I'm in a Tarot Professionals Facebook group, and my favorite tarot artist, Sierra Marchetti, is in the group, and he's such a sweetheart, and he posted the most gorgeous deck he's working on. Like, wow. I use his Gilded deck, which is a pretty deck, but he says he's actually a little bit embarrassed by that deck because he's grown so much as an artist. So, wow. Dear Santa, do I want that deck for Christmas? It's so pretty. It's like the Three of Swords, and it's this beautiful eye, and this like cloud background, and then the tears running down the cheek become the Three Swords. So it's so emotive. It's beautiful. I want that deck. You'll notice on a lot of my promo pictures that have a tarot deck, I use Sierra's deck, and that's used with permission on my website. So, I mean, technically, it's if the card isn't, like, if the deck isn't copyrighted, you can use it, which is just the Waite Smith. But if it's a copyrighted deck, you can use it without permission if it's in context. So I could show like cards on a table, but I can't just show like the one card. But it's nice to ask permission anyway. Okay. This is a good reading. So, I have 5 of Spears, King of Shields, which is also the pence, 9 of Spears reversed, and the Tower reversed. So I have 2 upright, 2 reversed. That's about normal. I have 1 court card, which is about normal for a 4-card spread. The 5 of Spears is the only one that concerns me in this. So looking at the 5 of Spears, so I'll go through. I'll leave the 5 of Spears for last. King of Shields is a man who is secure, who is generous, who is practical. Typically, the King of Spears the King of Shields or the King of Pence is more mature, usually in like physical age, and he's not that much. I can't remember how old he is. He might actually be a year or 2 younger. We're about the same age, but this would indicate then that emotional maturity is really high, or at least that cognitive maturity is really high. The Tower reversed is about rebuilding. So the Tower upright is like having the wind knocked out of you and everything pulled out from under you, which is essentially what happened to me with, former landlord in June. But this is me looking at the rubble and rebuilding my life. And so, yeah, I have a chance to rebuild my life with him in it. 9 of Spears reversed. This is about getting back in the game after reevaluating a battle plan. 5 of Spears, though, that's the one that concerns me. That is about family dynamics and arguments. So I know that, yes, and that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. I've been really honest with him about everything. So, I've kind of pulled away from my family because of some unhealthy dynamics. He is not a white guy, and there have been issues in my family with non-white, non-Christians being welcome. So that's family issue on my side. Me, I don't give a fuck. It's my life, and certainly they're not doing anything to make it better. So if I want to be happy and someone who is not white and not Christian makes me happy, then they can go sit on a tack. But certainly casual racism was a part of me growing up, and, you know, not actively, like, I mean, my family aren't like, you know, KKK or anything like that, but they are, yeah, like there were jokes and comments that are made offhand. But anyway, this also says to me that his family isn't going to like me. And I know that he is close to his family, and you know, there's a family business, and they talk together, and they spend a lot of time together. So his family not liking me might be more of an issue for this to be successful. So that's kind of the way things are. That yeah, there's that he is a kind, generous, successful, secure man. That I am ready to get back in the game, and I'm in a position where I'm ready to start dating emotionally, and I have an opportunity to rebuild my life with him as a part of it. But neither of our families are going to like the other one. So yeah. I agree that someone's character matters. I think that we need to be aware of how cultural influences, and that there's things that we're brought up doing that sometimes we don't realize. And we all have biases, and it's about fighting against those biases. So there's something called the implicit association test. And if you think that you're not racist and you don't see color, take the Harvard implicit association racism test, and that will be very eye-opening, because we all have these biases, and it's a matter of, like, this is how we were conditioned as our society, and it's important for us to fight that and really look at actual evidence of how someone is, and not rely on these how we were raised to think. So yeah, we met for lunch, so it's not like I super well know him, but yeah, I'm interested in seeing him again, and my tarot deck says cool. So yeah, that's that. And that's exciting. Okay, so yeah, my daughter is biracial. We met on an online dating website. But yeah, with me being in different cities all the time, it's difficult to meet people, and especially, like, I mean, during COVID, dating was impossible because it's hard to get to know someone from 6 feet away. Especially like winter during COVID, when everything was closed down, so you couldn't just go to Starbucks and you couldn't go for a walk because it was too cold. But yeah, my daughter is biracial. My daughter's father's family is from Barbados, and my daughter's father was born in Canada. Yeah, so my daughter is biracial, and I tried to raise her that she wasn't half, that she was both, and I wanted her to really feel like she belonged in both cultures. But her dad wasn't around a whole lot when she was little, and then she moved in with my dad, or with her dad. So yeah, it gave me a different perspective on a lot of different things, and I'm really interested in someone's character more than I am in their skin color. And I think that when I was dating Naomi's dad, the idea for my family is, but what will their children look like? And then we had Naomi, and she's gorgeous. But I'm not having more children, so that's not an issue. And when I was dating my abusive ex, who's from the same country that, I mean, ancestors are from the same country that this guy's ancestors are from, even though my ex was agnostic and wasn't a practicing Muslim, he was wanting to celebrate his first Christmas and excited about his first Christmas. And like, he got a Christmas tree, but he'd never really seen one decorated before. And so the lights were on it. And then he came home from work and I had like Christmas lights everywhere and he was so excited. So I celebrated first Christmas with him and I wanted to take him home for Christmas dinner to meet my parents or my dad. And my dad wouldn't let him come to Christmas dinner because, quote unquote, this is a Christian home, which I think is probably the least Christian thing you could ever say to somebody. But anyway, yeah. So would I expose this new guy to my family's racism? No. Will I ask for him to come home for Christmas dinner? No. Do I want to come home for Christmas dinner? I hate being alone on Christmas. I'll figure something out. I'll hang out with my pumpkins. Cheryl and I will. Cheryl's in Europe, as many of you might know, so she isn't able to be with her kids at Christmas because they're in the US. So yeah, we'll do a live stream, and we'll get drunk on eggnog. Okay, so are there any tarot questions that I can answer? Willing to do any sort of readings that you would enjoy? Nope, that's empty. Yeah, okay. All right. I don't like eating on camera, but maybe because it's Christmas and so many people are doing other things, we'll have Christmas dinner together. Order Chinese. Shit, what was I just gonna say? My train of thought derailed again. And I want to redo, I think I'll use the same poems, but if you remember 2 years ago, I did a New Year's Eve ghost stories live stream, and I want to do that again, or was it a pre-recorded? I can't remember. There's what do I plan to be for Christmas? I don't know. I don't know where I'll be living October 1st, so I need to figure that out first, and then I will have an idea of where I'm spending Christmas. It's up in the air. Okay, talk soon, Emma. Looking forward to our reading. Thank you, Becky. Oh, thank you. It does help a lot. I miss my baby boy. Yeah, so there's a Victorian tradition about ghost stories on Christmas, and there's some lore about, like, if you die on Christmas Eve, you go straight to heaven, and that you can't, the ghosts can't haunt your house on Christmas Eve, so that's why it's safe to tell ghost stories. So the night before Christmas, the Dickens, that's why it's a ghost story, and he gets visited by the 3 ghosts. So yeah, I'm going to tell some ghost stories. They are going to be family friendly, so they're not going to be like super, super scary. The ones I read before, there were a few poems that I read that were a little scary. There were, I read Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. Thank you so much, Emma. I really appreciate that. That helps a lot. You guys are the best. Don't make me cry again. Yeah, I really do appreciate all of you so much. So thank you, Becky. Thank you, Emma. Yes. My train of thought gets derailed so easily. So yeah, Edgar Allan Poe, Annabelle Lee is my favorite Edgar Allan Lee poem, or Edgar Allan Poe poem. I like The Raven. Everybody likes The Raven, but I wanted to do Annabelle Lee again. It's a little creepy because it's Poe. Fun fact about The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. So in Latin, I believe, I could be inaccurate about this, cra, the word cra is tomorrow. So when he's asking, when will I see my lost Lenore in The Raven, he's expecting the raven to say craw, because, you know, craw, craw, that's what ravens say. But the raven doesn't say craw because he wants him to say, you'll see her tomorrow. He says, nevermore. So there's a little bit on the background meaning behind Poe's crow, or Poe's the raven. Ravens and crows are different birds. That's one of the nitpicky things I have with the neo-pagan community, is they often confabulate the two birds. They are both corvids, which are super smart birds. Blue jays are also corvids. I don't know about cardinals. I don't think they are. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you so much. That really helps. And with Ko-fi and PayPal, they don't take the amount that YouTube takes. So yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate any help that I can get right now. All right, so I am wrapping up the live stream. Thank you so much, all of my pumpkins. Thank you. I'm gonna go through it again, like I'm listening to the roll call names, and I feel like and I've said before, there was a children's show called Romper Room, and the lady would look through the mirror and she'd say all the names of the children in the room, and then she'd say like the names of people who wrote in, and so, you know, I see Turnt, I see Cheryl. So yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Turnt. Thank you to those who did donated. Hi, Svarter. Yeah. When I lived in Calgary, the magpies were neat. It took me a while to figure out what they were. So yes, thank you to those who donated, Cheryl and Emma and Becky. Thank you to all of my mods who were able to make it today. Cheryl, Megan, Becky, Marissa. Thank you to Turnt and Svarter. I hope that you are having a fantastic day, and may you pray with a good fire. Bye, pumpkins.